All right, all right, all right, all right. So we are in for another treat here, everybody. This guy is killing it out there. He's the host of Creating a Brand. It's a top 20 entrepreneurship podcast where he interviews successful leaders and experts on topics that matter to entrepreneurs who will grow faster, both personally and professionally, while saving time and money in the process. And that's what we're all looking to do here. Grow our businesses, grow our messages, make some money, but also save some money along the way and save some time so we get more time to do what the hell we want. So we're honored to have Alecia Sanfilippo join us here today on National Social Media Day. So Alex, honored to have you here, buddy. It's finally great to meet in person, huh?
Right? You know what's funny, man? I thought I had your phone number, and I've been texting this person who finally today admitted that it is not you. And because I was like, hey, man, I'm looking forward to it today. And finally, it's been months. And this guy's finally like, hey, I'm not who you think I am. I'm like, why didn't you say something? Unless that's you messing with me today. So I thought we've had at least a text conversation, but we have not.
I'll make sure and text you the right number if it's not in my email already. But Alex, that's hilarious. That's funny. That's totally funny. But, you've done a great job. And when you talking with so many people and interviewing so many influencers and entrepreneurs who are doing some big things, you've probably kind of put together kind of your short list of the things that you see kind of intertwined through them all, some of the things that they do in building the brand and growing it. Any advice you want to give to our listeners that are watching this live or catching the replays or streaming this on Facebook as well too? What do you kind of see your success principles when it comes to building a brand?
Sure. Yeah. First off, I've been tuning in through Facebook, so it's a good platform. It works great for this. So left a little thumbs up somewhere along the way. But after not that I've interviewed more people than other podcasters in the world, I've had quite a few, and you start picking up some commonalities. And I think a big one that pertains to social media that I'll share really fast here is being present. Ivan Misner, the founder of BNI, he refers to it as be where your feet are. I think for many of us, if we're trying to build something on social media, we often fall into this trap of we're physically here with people, but mentally we're somewhere else because we've got something we're focused on. And they talk about really setting aside that time so that you can be present wherever you are. That way you're not missing big opportunities to be with the people that matter in your life. Because at the end of the day, at some point in our lives, we're all going to pass. I just made this whole thing super morbid. Sorry. But at some point, it's going to pass. And the one thing that you can go back and remember is not, I wish I would have spent a little bit more time, working on Twitter or TikTok or whatever it is that people are working on these days, and they're going to say, I wish that would have been more in where I was in that moment, more just being with the people that mattered to me. When I was out at dinner, being with them and things like that. So I think that's one of the big things I've learned, which isn't necessarily entrepreneurship, but the way that relates to it now is I found that when you set aside those times, you focus a lot better. And when you focus a lot better, you get a lot better results really quick. So being wherever you are at that point, being present wherever you are is such a valuable piece of advice that I've learned over the last year really of doing this, just how valuable that can be. So that way you're really focused and you're achieving that goal when it's the right time to be doing it.
Yeah, I think there's so many things that distract us, that try to attract us, take away our attention. And the people that I've always met have done really well, leadership in government or whatever, mentors or coaches of mine, that's the big thing. They're there present. This can be the best of things. It can also be the worst of things. We got to learn to turn this off a little bit more and really kind of be present. And I think what's funny is with where we're at right now, where people are forced to be where their feet are at.
Right.
There's issues out there. People are like, I don't want to be with this person who's in my same household for the most part, huh?
Yeah, that's a totally different topic. But yes, absolutely.
Exactly. But I love what you're doing, though, being where they're at. What other advice? And you're obviously doing something good because Alecia behind is Alecia. Thank you for working so hard for us. I love you.
I meant to erase that before we started because I just finished this huge mind map out here, and then she walked right in and wrote on the board, and I just totally forgot about it. But that's my wife, and she says thank you for working so hard for us. She's so sweet. She's nice. So I've done well with her.
Good, very good there. But over your other shoulder, your right shoulder there, the attract, the delight, the engage for your customers. You want to share a little bit about that? Because I think it's such a valuable thing, not only that you're sharing, but it's also important for everybody that's out there, right?
For sure. Yeah. You know what's funny? I tried to do like the backgrounds for a while, but way more people were interested in these boards, especially like this one when it has like flow charts and stuff. I'm like, what is, can you move out of the way? You know, like I've actually got a third one that you can't see. Sometimes I have this thing position where you can see all three. But anyway, so over here, yeah, that's called a flywheel. And made popular by, I'd say, Jeff Bezos didn't come up with it, but he's kind of the guy who has made it popular for business. And basically, they have a model where you have basically you consider it a flywheel. So it's round, it's supposed to be moving, it's storing energy. And the idea is to build a business around that. So attract, delight, engage. And basically, it's a wheel and just rotates back through there. So if you attract customers, like that's your top of your funnel, that's the way that you're getting people to whatever your call to action is. If you're able to actually go through and you're able to engage those individuals. So now that they've come in through a funnel, something free, you're able to engage them in something paid or something that's ongoing, the next thing you want to do is make sure that they're delighted by it. And when a customer is delighted in today's world, or a member, I've actually gotten away from saying customers and change that to member, because the different websites I'm running now, we call them members. They're a partner with us. And when you can delight those individuals, they become your new magnet for attracting people. And basically the way a flywheel works is it will spin and as fast as it possibly can. It'll store energy. Whatever slows it down will be one of these pieces. And our job as business owners, entrepreneurs, whatever it might be, is to find out what is slowing it down, which piece of the puzzle you need to work on. You fix that piece that's really slowing things down, and then you move on to the next one. And you just keep on building a more and more powerful system. And for me, it's been a great way to manage my business, at least in my mind, like seeing that every day, making tweaks to it and questioning like, okay, I'm having trouble getting customers to engage. My members aren't really engaged. How can I actually make a change? What am I missing? Okay, they like this content. They don't like this content. Making that change and then finding, okay, now it's rotating there. Are they delighted? Are they attracting other people on my behalf? And that's kind of the whole concept of a flywheel there.
I love it, but it's so relevant today. Getting, as you say, members, clients, customers, listeners, right, to engage for a variety of reasons, not only to see what they're feeling, but also get that immediate feedback so you can make that relationship, that experience even better, right, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 100%. It's all about, like, for me, everything is relational. I mean, we're moving more and more into a relationship-based world. I mean, there used to be a day when this doesn't even sound realistic anymore, but companies didn't have social media, or like someone had no ways to call them. They had a 1-800 number, and you're getting somebody who doesn't even really work for the company. It's a call center. And now everything's so relational. People want to know what and who they're buying from. And that's why you see so many, like the rise of these small entrepreneurship brands come out of nowhere. Like, people want to work with that because there's a human behind it. And, we've moved away from anything other than human to human. And that's what the customer experience is all about now.
Mm-hmm. Now, with the clients that you're working with, and you mentioned this just briefly a minute ago about, hey, managing websites, you see, and I think we've talked so much about social media, but really a company's, a client's website, whatever, is really that's that home base where everything comes back to in a lot. What are some of the biggest mistakes you're seeing people make with their websites, or lack of crap or other things out there that aren't really, when you see it, just makes you cringe a little bit, Alex, huh?
Yeah. The first thing I'll mention is the navigation, right? When you go on a website, if I see a navigation with 20, 30 different options, and a lot of us, we don't mean to, and we just aren't educated on this. I used to be this guy. I was like, I want everything on here because it's my website. So I need to make sure it's just all here. And it made sense to me, but no one going to my website had any clue where any of my stuff was. They're like, okay, I have 30 options. What on earth, And now when I advise anybody on, I don't actually do the web development, but I'll advise people on how their website looks and things like that. I never recommend having more than 7 links. And that is all I have. My website's actually, anyone that ever do seems to have 7 links or less. And I just find it make sure that they're very focused as well. So that's the first thing that I notice that people do, is that because it is their website and they know it, it's their baby, it's really hard for other people to follow, but for them, it makes sense. But if you can narrow it down to just 7 basic things, that's what really builds a really strong and great website in my mind, to kind of be the top of it, because that's the first thing people are looking at, right?
That's also very KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid, right?
That's right, man. I love that. All I can ever think of is I don't know if you watch The Office, but all I can ever think is when Dwight says it. He goes, Michael always tells me, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And great advice hurts my feelings every time. It's so true.
Love that. Love it. Love it. What other facets do you see besides the keeping it complicated? And it's our baby. Yes, we overthink it. Oh, we need to add this. We need to add this. We need to add stack things. Or, that sometimes works in your disservice because it confuses the client, confuses the people that are going there. But where do you see other things kind of going wrong for people or entrepreneurs out there?
Yeah, I think as it pertains to websites still, right? We want to, okay, cool. Just make sure we're
Website,
staying
social
focused on.
media, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
if there's something that really gets a burr under your saddle, we'll go about that too. But yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I'll do like the link from social media to web real quick. A lot of people use like Linktree and things like that, and that's all fine and dandy and things like that. But the problem is when you have so many different links and options for people, it gets confusing. Believe it or not, people actually want to be told what to do. If they've consumed some form of your content, they want to know what you want them to do next. And when you say, hey, here's 10 things you can do, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I'm not sure where to go or which one I'm really interested in, which one really is for me. And I think that many of us, we just kind of have that, again, is more like a placeholder of just here's all the things that I do. But really, it's in our best interest on social media, on our websites, to have the one thing that we're best at and to really promote that one thing. I'm not saying you can't do more than one thing, but really when people visit your website, when they visit your social media, they need to see the overarching theme of this is what this individual does for me. Not they can help me with everything. They can do this and this and this. It's not really going to work well. I mean, you've got to find that one thing for yourself, what that is. And you want to make sure that your website is positioned that way. The links out of your social media are positioned that way. And that's just such an important element for all of us to figure out, because the days of someone just being good at it all isn't really going to happen anymore. There's so many specialized people. And when people are really narrow focused in their niche, they're the ones that are really getting the business in today's world.
Yeah, I kind of compare it going to a marketing event and somebody hands you like 6 business cards or one business card where it's like 12. I do this. I'm a house cleaner and I change oil. Hey, I'm also going to sell you life insurance. I'm going to do all these things. You're like, I'm avoiding that.
You're like, I'll take none of those, please.
I'll take none of those. Next, we'll see you later. That card's going in the trash. But there's a lot of people that do that, though. They think they're doing something, and they try to be cheap because they're trying to save a nickel, and it costs them so much money in the long run when they should have just separated it off a little bit. It's okay to have, you've got some different interests, as you say. Just make sure you kind of compartmentalize on that when you're out sharing your message and the website you're getting people to go to, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's 100% right. If you have separate businesses, that's fine. So example, like I have creating a brand. That's where my podcast is, where my online community is. But then I have a new project called Podmatch, totally separate company. So I'm not like, I can help you find guests and I can help you do this. It's more so like, hey, I can help you in your entrepreneurship journey, make that first or next step the right one. And then every now and then it'll cross over into like, oh, I really want to start a podcast. I'm like, oh, here's a great place to get guests. And usually what I've actually been doing, because we just launched this thing like 2.5 weeks ago, I haven't even mentioned it's mine. So I've been telling people like, oh yeah, check this out. And I didn't even mention it. And they don't need to know. Like, I don't want to be that guy who's like all things to all people, like you keep them separate. And I think that's a really smart way to do it.
Yeah, that totally can make sense. Like, hey, it's not mine. Oh, okay, go check it out. Oh, it's yours. It all depends kind of on the audience aspect of things, because we all have our tribe that support us, that love us. But it's also too, when something a little bit different. Hey, here's something that I'm using. I can see the marketing aspects of both there for you. I bet you've been testing it and seeing what kind of response though you're getting when you're not mentioning it's yours, huh?
Of course I am. I like to see what people are saying and doing. And it's been interesting. Any sort of, SaaS startup there's a lot of testing that goes into it. We did our alpha test, our beta test. It's a lot. But it's been a lot of fun. It's a great learning experience for me, and actually has really helped me with creating a brand where I'm actually, again, focused on helping entrepreneurs make that first or next step. I have a new experience I can share with them to be able to help people. And so that's been really fun for me.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up, even though you said, you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. It's like, no, I want you to talk about it, because there's so many people. You and I both agree podcasting is a great way to get the message out, spread your audience, and really market yourself out there. But let's bring it back to a little bit of your expertise and really kind of crafting and creating that brand. What are some of the things that are like staples that if somebody's doing something, they've got to really get down to maximize their exposure or maximize their relationships?
Yeah. So first off, I think I want to bring everything back to social media, because that's what today is all about, right? So for me, I think that many of us, we've taken too much time to build our entire platform on social media. So like our platform might be Instagram, might be TikTok, whatever it might be. And the problem with that is at some point, these platforms will go away. They will change. You'll pay for engagement. I mean, Facebook, I remember back in the day, every one of my friends would see my post. I had hundreds of people, and then they'd all see it. They'd all like it. And now Facebook's like, hey, if you want anyone to see this, you can hand us $100. Like that's kind of the way that it's gone. But, and Instagram is starting to get more that way. So what we have to think about is how do we create our own platform beyond the rented space that we play on? And I think that one of the big mistakes that people make is they just put it all into all their, everything into that one pie, right? Perfect example. I'm about to give you some great information on me, Scott. Years ago, do you remember Vine by chance?
I do remember Vine. Yes.
Okay. That's the only social media platform I've ever had a name on that I was pretty big on. And I was kind of one of those funny guys, which I don't know why people thought it was funny, because I didn't think I was that funny. I thought it was like kind of dorky, but whatever. But anyway, I had a pretty good following on there. I never asked any of them to go anywhere or do anything. I just wanted them to stay there and watch me. And then one day, like Vine showed up out of nowhere, it disappeared as quickly as it showed up. And I had no following anywhere else at all. I never diversified that at all. So I bring that up just to say that you have to be careful and be thinking about the long game. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to take everyone. Like, let's say you have 1,000 followers on one of these platforms. Doesn't even matter which one. You're not going to convert all 1,000 of those into some sort of paying customer. But there's a few that will really like the message that you have, the unique point of view that you're bringing. They'd be interested in more. And that's when it goes back to the website. Like, what is the one thing it's going to be focused on? So I think it's really important to have that call to action as often as you can. Make it organic, make it natural. Don't be like, and go subscribe here. I'm not really into that stuff. More or less just say, hey, like if this adds value to you, go here to learn a little bit more on my website.
I love that, but it's important too. I see so many people giving up their SEO, especially when you see on the podcast side, a lot of people are like, oh, hey, go to Anchor, go to iTunes and download my stuff and subscribe there, versus no, go back to the mothership, because that's really the truly only space that we control is our website, right? Other things, like you said, can close. They change the algorithms that screw it all up. I mean, lots of confusing things can happen, right?
Yeah, it really can. And that's a great point. I mean, even with podcasting, people that are using Anchor, these other platforms as their main hub, again, they don't own those. Your website's really basically the only thing you can own. And, even that is just traffic. You need to bring it in through an email list is really like the big way to do it, or now through an SMS list. A lot of people are doing that. But it's important to make sure that you're converting that. But having that own platform for yourself is really important for the long game. If you look at anybody who's really making a big leap in any of these platforms or anything like that, they have their own hub as well. It might not be what they talk about all the time, but it's always there. And I think that one problem that many of us have is we are like, okay, so I need that hub, but I don't know how to build a website, or I don't know how to do this. And the thing is, there are so many resources out there now. I had a friend who just started a business, and he was stressing about it because he's like, okay, I can't just do it on social media. He has like massive following on Facebook, which is like a strange place. I feel like to have big following these days, but people love him on Facebook. He's like, but I need to get it off of here. I need to build a website. And I was like, no, you don't. I'm like, go to use MailChimp or MailerLite or one of these other companies, HubSpot, and build yourself a little landing page, just one page, and have them sign up for an email. And that's all that you need. And sure enough, this guy now has thousands, just within a few weeks, thousands of email addresses. Now he has true people that can become customers. It's not just a social media audience anymore.
I love that, because I've been telling people that MailChimp is one of the easiest ways to build some list builders, and they got landing pages now, but make it simple so that, hey, you do start transitioning your Twitter, your Facebook. Well, we can say LinkedIn now, since LinkedIn doesn't allow you to download the email addresses like it used to a couple years back. Yeah?
Oh, they took it away, huh? See, that's one of those things. We used to think, oh, well, I own my list on LinkedIn. We don't anymore. And they own the platform. You can't get mad at them. They're already letting you play for free. Like, it's so important. And, you just mentioned, again, MailChimp. My buddy who built his landing page, it looks great. Fantastic. The dude was like, I can't do anything on a computer, man. He's like, you don't understand. I had to play on my camera and that's it. And I had to upload it to Facebook. The guy built a great landing page. It took him like an hour and a half. I mean, there's not a lot to it. So like there can't be an excuse of, oh, I don't really know how to do that stuff. There's no coding or anything like that. And then you have this landing page. And I think that that's just such a powerful thing. And then you position that whole thing, even if that's just the only page you have on your website, you position it around the fact of, here is the unique point of view that I bring to people and how I can help out.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. It's keep it simple. I mean, whether you're using MailChimp, even lead pages is easy enough to use. ClickFunnels, you drag and drop. Using something, or there's enough professionals out there, even heck, YouTube videos that can help you set that stuff up relatively easy to help you engage with your audience and capture your audience, so you really do own that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's all pretty simple. And some advice to everybody here. I actually learned this from one of my guests, David Meerman Scott. He ended up being a good friend of mine. So it's always great to interview people and they become friends, right? So He wrote a book years ago he's like famous for, The New Rules of Marketing and PR. More recently, though, this year he has a book called Fanocracy. And the book explored this one idea of you have to actually give something away for free if you want to build a fan off what you're doing. And I'm like, well, I do give something away for free. They can sign up, to get, they give me their email address and I give them this. He's like, no, that's not free. And he used a great example. He said, imagine going to a bar and for me, buying a girl a drink. I'm holding a drink. I'm like, hey, I'm going to give you this drink for free, but first, will you go out with me? And the answer is always, no, please take your drink somewhere else. That's always the answer 100% of the time. But if you say, hey, I bought you this drink, can I sit down and chat with you? Then sure, that's giving away something for free. And the problem is we've made a wall there and said, no, it's free. I just need your email address. The email address isn't free. So something that I've actually implemented, and I've gotten far more subscribers since I've done this, is I actually give away 6 courses completely for free. I just post them on my website. I don't want your email address. I don't want anything. And I've had so many people email me and message me on social media like, thank you so much for actually giving me something for free. You earned, like people literally said, you've earned a new fan because you're willing to do that. I think that if we can build these little landing pages with something that adds enough value to say, hey, here's what I've got. Here's what I do. This will really help you. At the bottom, hey, if you're interested in more, put in your email address. People will really like that because then you've established some form of trust. You're not just selling to them. And I think that it's such a valuable thing for us to do, to link to from our social media, because social media is free. So people are used to seeing free stuff. They want free. And then they're interested in saying, okay, this is great. This is really good. If I put my email address, I'll get even more maybe. And I think that that's a really powerful paradigm shift that I've had. And that's David Meerman Scott. That's not my own wisdom or anything like that. It's something I learned from him.
But that's genius, because if you're giving away a course, it's evergreen. It doesn't cost you really except time on the front end time. It becomes something very valuable versus just a checklist or a ebook, which we're probably not going to read, but a true course. A lot of people like these courses. Where you want to give a little bit of insight in those courses, that kind of what you're giving away?
Yeah, I've got, like I said, I've got a handful of them, and I'm going to try and remember what they all are. The free
where
ones,
can they go to find them?
Yeah, you can go to creatingabrand.com/courses, and the ones at the top are the 6 free ones, and then below that I've got my paid courses. But yeah, it's like how to launch a podcast successfully, how to blog. Like they have fancier titles in this. I'm really messing them up here, but on the spot, But anyway, they're yeah. So I've got those 6 on there that are completely free, but it doesn't always need to be that. Even if you're somebody on social media and let's say that you're into fitness, you can give just a checklist, like a single page PDF download that says, like, I'll show you, here is like my great ab workout that I do every day or every week, or here's my morning routine or my milkshake that I make every day, whatever it is. Any of those things that add a little bit of value that people would be interested in. Again, what are you known for? What is your point of view that you bring? Have a link to that, and then you can have that information there. And I think that's just a beautiful way to be able to, again, add that more free value and get people interested in what you're doing.
Such great stuff there. Absolutely. I agree 100%, because it gives people a chance to say, if I want to sit down and have a drink with you, versus like, no, I don't want to go on a date with you immediately for a cranberry and vodka. You know what I mean? Let's
right.
Or a martini, whatever it might be, the flavor.
You're expensive. I was just thinking of beer, but all right.
Yeah, there you go. Warm draft beer at that, right?
Oh man.
But you upped it there though, because that's the thing you think about it. How many people give away warm beer in their marketing because their marketing is flat, it sucks, it's not up to date, it's not cold and crisp, versus something that, I'll actually use this. And I think we as marketers have to keep that in mind, that that's a big value add. We have to add value before we get something. If you talked about the head of BNI, giver's game is a great way, a great outlook,
Yeah, stop giving people warm beer. That's the takeaway from our session today, right?
Exactly. Avoid the warm, pissy beer.
You know what, though? I'm going to mention one more thing with this. So if you're giving something away, you can ask for a little bit more as well. So some of us who want to just ask for the email address because like that's all they want to give. But the thing is, if you're already giving something valuable and now they're interested in learning more, HubSpot does a great job of this. They will ask you for an unbelievable amount of information when you're signing up. But if you go to their blog, their CRM, everything they give away for free, you're like, yeah, whatever you wanted, you can have it, And so I think that's something that you have to think about. If you really want to create fans off of what you're doing, you need a few basic pieces of information. I mean, I think you should grab their name. If they'll give it to you, take their birthday and say, we just want to send you something your birthday. Most people won't do it to make it optional, but you should get their zip code. You should try to get their gender as well. And maybe one last piece of information that is relevant to what you're doing. But if you can get this information, you can then segment out your email list, which going back to something like MailChimp or any of the others. I use MailerLite personally, and you can segment it out. So here's the deal. Here's a great example of this. I like the clothing store Express, but they have a terrible, the way they do their emails is just so bad. One day I'll get like, hey, it's like a summer suit that you need. I'm like, oh, dang, yeah, a new summer suit. I'll check it out. The next day I get 5 bikinis that you're going to love. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, that's not really my style. But like, they don't know who I am. They don't know if I'm male or female. They don't have any of that information. I mean, they probably do a better job now. I've been on their list forever. But if you can actually do that and then you can segment it out, if you have a male and female audience and you want to talk about like eating healthy so that you can, tone up your, tone something up, whatever ladies like to do. I'm sorry, most guys are not gonna be interested in reading that. So you would say, okay, this one's just going to the ladies. This one's just going here. That's how you build real fans around what you're doing, is you're able to know your audience and actually reach out to them with where they are instead of just saying, here, everybody, here's me, like actually knowing who they are is just so important.
Yeah, 6-minute abs would be much better than the Brazilian butt lift,
Exactly.
Aspect of things. But you're right about that. And you shared something really insightful there. People always talk about, like, I've had a few people ask me, okay, Scott, how do you clean up your Facebook group or your Facebook connections? Because we all, especially when we're marketing, you end up running out of 5,000 friends. I'm like, the birthday app. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, every day it tells me 6 or 12 people's birthday, and I look on there, do I know them? Would I really wish them a happy birthday? If I don't know them from Adam, sorry, I'm going to unfriend you. Those that I do, okay, great, I use it. But then I tag them, I take the date and put it in the database, and it's something that you can automate and kind of say, hey, thanks, happy birthday, here's Starbucks card on me, or hey, happy birthday for everybody in June. Or some of the things we've done in the past is literally take the time the first week and write a happy birthday card out to those that were in our database for that month and send them all out. And that's such an extra thing that a lot of people don't do anymore, is that personal, the personalized gift, personalized, hey, happy birthday, whatever it might be, can go a long way for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it really can. And here's the thing, people are looking for, again, that we started off talking about this. This is a great circle all back around, but we talked about that human to human interaction. People are hungry for that. We're all more connected than ever before, but we're more lonely than we've ever been. And if you can find a way to actually engage and build a relationship with somebody by knowing a little bit more about them, man, go for it. That's what people are craving. That's what they want. And these are people that will become your fans. They will be paying customers. At the same time, it's fulfilling for you as well, because it's somebody that you know about and can have the opportunity to care about. If everyone's just in one giant bucket and you don't know, it's hard to build a relationship there. And at the end of the day, that's more the direction the world's heading in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree to that 100%. Be unique and be able to have those one-on-one conversations, or that general stuff, that marketing that leads to that one-on-one conversation. You can sit down, and because I think we all would appreciate sitting down and having a beer together outside of all this craziness right now. If you can't do it in person, try to do it virtually in some sort of fashion, eh?
100%, man. I would love that. Thanks for the invite. I'm taking that as an invite.
Anytime, brother. Yes, sir. Where's home again for you, Alex?
Home is creatingabrand.com. And I've got a real easy way for you to do that. I can't talk about this stuff and not actually practice what I preach, right? So I've got a phone number if you text. It's 904-299-8992. Just text the word connect and it'll automatically send you to my website. It's a great way to get there, or you can just go to creatingabrand.com. You can find the podcast, the courses I talked about. The community is also open and free because people need friends right now. We need each other. So I opened up my used to be paid community, now completely free. And man, that's what I do. At the end of the day, I seek to add value to people's lives. And I believe profit follows that later on, but I am here to help. And Scott, I'm honored to have been here today. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Hey, give me a second here. I'm going to type it into the chat roll again. What was the phone number?
Yeah, it's 904-299-8992.
8992.
Yep. Text the word connect.
Connect. It doesn't matter. It's not case sensitive, right?
Nope. Good to go. Hope not, at least.
If it is there. And also, guys, highly check out his podcast, creatingabrand.com/listen. It'll take you straight to his podcast. Alex, we could talk a lot longer after. We're going to have you back on a future Wednesday night mass media mastermind at some point. We're going to dive in longer in the conversation. But man, thanks for coming in and just delivering and giving here on National Social Media Day, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, anytime, brother. Hey, where's home? Not the website. Where's actual home?
Oh, Jacksonville, Florida. Sunny Jacksonville, Florida. It's storming right now, but sometimes it's sunny. So
well, it is the mid-afternoon shower time in Florida for the most part.
Yes, it is. Exactly.
All right, brother. Well, hey, we'll see you later. Be safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thanks, Alex.